and he was an inveterate optimist. In private, he was just as optimistic as he was in public. And I think that's one of the things Americans will always remember about him, that he never lost his sense of believing that we could do better.
Well, on that note, what do you think in general Americans think his legacy will be now that he's passed?
I think the most important thing is he believed in America, and he believed that freedom was a universal value. He thought everybody wanted to be free. And he was president near the end of the Cold War. He went to Berlin and made that great speech about take the wall down. He always believed that the Cold War would come to an end and that freedom would triumph. And it must have pleased him in his later years to know that for the first time in history, more than half the world's people live under governments they voted in. He believed that. He believed everybody wanted to be free. And he stood for that. And I think that will be his enduring legacy.
Had you had contact with him after your professional relationship had ended on a personal level? Had you seen him at all after he left office? I saw him
the last time we actually talked. I kept in touch with her from time to time, Mrs. Reagan. But the last time we talked was after I was elected president. I went to California, I went to see him.
Did he give you any words of wisdom?
We had a fabulous talk. I went to his office in L.A., and I asked him a few questions. He told me a few stories. We laughed again, and he gave me a jar of red, white, and blue jelly beans with a presidential seal on it. And
where'd they stay in the White House?
In the Oval Office. The whole 8 years I was there, I had them here. People would come in and they would refer to it as Clinton's Republican artifact. I loved it. And it always reminded me. I never saw it that I didn't think of him and smile.
Is there anything you used while you were president from him? Any good advice?
Well, I think we actually used the same desk, which President Kennedy had also used, called the Resolute, named after a ship. That was a British ship that the United States rescued, repaired, and returned to Queen Victoria, and then when it was taken down, she had it made it into a desk, and President Kennedy used it, and President Reagan did, and I did.
And now let me ask you, obviously you're embarked on your publicity tour for your book. Will your plans change? Do you plan to attend any funeral or
Oh, yes. Well, I won't be, the book won't be released until the 22nd, so it won't conflict with that.
Okay. And
I intend to attend whatever official ceremonies are appropriate. I think that I should be there, and I want to be there. I liked him, and he loved America. He served us well for 8 years, and I want to be there to show my respect.
I'm sure his family will appreciate that very much.
And Hillary and I will both go when they announce the plans. It's early now.
Has Senator Clinton spoken with Nancy Reagan? Or
I don't think so, because she was up at Wellesley at her college reunion, so as soon as she heard it, she called me, and we talked about the times we went when we were young to the White House, to the governor's dinner. She always went with me, and we had some great times there.
Do you have any memories of President Reagan as an actor before?
Yeah, I'm a huge movie buff, so I've seen a lot of his movies, and I actually saw one about a month ago here on television while I was trying to finish my book. He distracted me from my writing headaches.
Probably a welcome distraction.
I liked his movies, and I thought he was good, but I found him more interesting in person, actually. I think he was a really compelling personality, and I found him very interesting in person.
What would be one thing you would say that he personally as a president changed about America, something that really has...
Well, when he came in, we'd been through some really tough times. We'd been through hard economic times. We'd been through the disillusionment of Vietnam, the disillusionment of Watergate, that we had that horrible energy crisis. And then we had the Iranian hostage crisis. And we had some tough times when he was there. We had people killed in Lebanon, over 240 people, and the Challenger explosion. We had a lot of tough times, but he was inveterately optimistic, and he would never let us get down as a people, even when we were grieving. And I think that's the other thing I think he'll be remembered for, that he, like Teddy Roosevelt, like all of our really great presidents, he believed in the idea of America. He believed in the strength of the American people and the common sense of the American people, and he believed that no matter what happened, we would get over it and we'd do better. So I think his optimism and his devotion to freedom will be his enduring legacies.
I agree. Thank you very much for taking time to talk to us.
The 42nd President of the United States, William Jefferson Clinton, speaking of the 40th President, with NBC News producer Sandra Rapp and Bill Clinton. The trivia that history will ignore, but is in some way, in some strange way, poignant and even reassuring at this point, that Bill Clinton was among the many recipients of the famous Ronald Reagan jelly bean jars. Just something else to add to the matters on the table on this extraordinary day in the passing of Ronald Reagan. We have been going to California